The Confederacy of Independent Systems was seen as the bad guys throughout the entirety of the Clone Wars. This is because when we think of the CIS, we think of General Grievous, Count Dooku, and Darth Sidious in the background pulling strings. And in the movies and the Clone Wars TV show, they are portrayed as the bad guys while the Republic and the Jedi are seen as the saviors. However, in many ways, the reasons for the planets of the CIS for leaving the Republic were justified. The planets gave many reasons for leaving the Republic, with the first one being corrupt politicians being bought out by large corporations like the Trade Federation. The Trade Federation had a vast amount of power and influence in the Senate. This is why the invasion of Naboo seen in The Phantom Menace was allowed to happen. Not only that, but there were a vast amount of complex legal proceedings, treaties, and obligations that virtually made it impossible for the Senate to do anything about the invasion of Naboo. This is why the people of Naboo and the Gungans had to take matters into their own hands and drive the Trade Federation off-world on their own. The second reason for the planets leaving the Republic were the unfair laws that heavily favored the core worlds. They said they wanted laws that applied universally, not just ones set for the core worlds, but for the Outer Rim worlds as well. The idea that the Republic was a distant, dispassionate, corrupt, and unworthy of membership ultimately marshaled disgruntled systems into a new galactic government. This was known as the Separatist Crisis. And as the crisis intensified, many in the Republic feared that the galaxy would split into two. And because of this, the Galactic Senate of the Republic moved towards the passage of the Military Creation Act, which would establish a centralized armed forces to protect the Republic for the first time in 1,000 years. This is when we start to see the events of Attack of the Clones, when Dooku had promised the Viceroy Newt Gunray that he would assassinate Senator Padme Amidala of Naboo if he signed Dooku's treaty. The Viceroy accepted the offer and Dooku dispatched Jango Fett to carry out Amidala's assassination. Despite the failure of Fett's mission, Dooku was able to have the Trade Federation, the Intergalactic Banking Clan, the Techno Union, the Commerce Guild, and the Corporate Alliance all sign a treaty on Geonosis and join together as the Separatist Council. Meanwhile, tensions between the Republic and the Separatist movement reached its all-time high after the Republic learned of the size and significance of its army of battle droids, motivating the Senate to grant emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic. And during this was the attempted execution of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Senator Padme Amidala. A team of 200 Jedi were sent to the arena on Geonosis where they were being held to rescue them. The Jedi were attacked by a host of battle droids during the attempt and were crowded into the arena. With the battle turning against the Jedi, Dooku gave the remaining Jedi forces a chance to lay down their arms, a choice Mace Windu declined. In the next few moments, several gunships arrived over the arena and engaged the droid forces on the planet's surface, which is where we see the start of the Clone Wars. But in the end, that is why the Confederacy of Independent Systems were justified in leaving the Republic. They were a corrupt, dispassionate government that cared very little about the Outer Rim world, with many of its laws favoring the core worlds instead. I want to know what you think of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, and if you think they're as evil as the movies and the TV show made them out to be. And if you want to see more content relating to Star Wars, then subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.